Hello everyone, welcome back to CKS series. In this video, I will show you how you create Kubernetes cluster using Kubeadm on AWS. Using the scripts I provide you. Here is the scripts and one document here, doc.md. In this doc, I will show you step by step what you have to do, how to run the script, what you have to change in those scripts. Let's start with the step one. Here, provision AWS infrastructure. You have to run this script. What exactly it will create? It will create VPC, subnet, security groups, one control and one worker. If you need any additional worker node, you can edit the infra here, but one control plane, one worker node is fine for a practice purpose. Let's go and start let's open the Kubeadm here. Let's see what exactly it will create. What changes you have to make sure here. The infra will go and create on the Mumbai region. If you want, you can change the region. You don't need to change the CIDR, subnet CIDR. Everything is here. One more thing you have to take care, key name. The keys must already exist in your AWS and also present in our local, so you can easily log in. Here I am taking Ubuntu 24. That's all about the script. You don't need to change anything. You just take care two things: region where you want your infra and also key name. Here AWS now is my key pair. Now let's run the script. Just wait for 1 or 2 minutes. More than it will create infra within 1 minute, I think. Let's see. And open two more tabs here. One for control plane and second one is the worker node. Once infra is complete, I also capture the IPs of the respective worker nodes because I don't want to log in AWS to get these IPs. So here control plane IP, this one, worker node 1. Okay, just log in. As I said, you need a PEM file to log in. So I already downloaded in my local. Just copy here and run sudo ssh-i aws new ubuntu yes. Now same way login into worker node. My laptop is also Linux, so I can able to run shell scripts, but if your system is Windows, you can run the script on AWS Cloud Shelf, or you can create manually. Whatever you prefer, you can go with that. Now after login, the step 2 you have to do is configure AWS credential. This is the before you have to do before running the script. I already configured the credentials. Step 2 is configure host names. You have to log in each node and set host names accordingly. Control plane on control plane, you have to run these two commands. In the control plane, for immediate effect, you have to run this xbash. Now I changed the host name control plane. Same way you have to do for worker node. Sudo hostname ctl set hostname node 01. Okay, for immediate effect you have to do run this command. Now node 1. Now again go back to the doc. Now step 3 is install common dependency. You have to run the common.sh. This is the one you have to run. It should run on all worker nodes including control plane and worker node. If you have one more worker node, you have to run this script on each node. Okay, here what changes you have to do? Nothing. You can only choose the version you want to install. Here I am choosing latest version 1.35. That's it. You don't need to do anything here. Just copy just copy this script. Now here create one file common.sh. Just paste this and give executable permission. You have to switch user root. and run the script. Same way you have to do in the worker node. Again here open one more file, command.sh, paste here, and then you have to give execute permission, which is the root, run the script. Now script will install the components. Let me, if you want, you can go through this script. Here main we are going to install. I already given you here container runtime. You know container runtime is important in Kubernetes cluster. Here we are using installing containerd, Kubeadm, kubelet. These are the components we have to install. The script will install these components. Now we have to, next step is configure Kubeadm. You have to create one more file here. Once the script execution is complete, let's see, meantime we can see what exactly the Kubeadm config file here. Here we have to change two things here. One is you have to change this to your control plane IP here, and also here control plane endpoint. If you want to use your Kubernetes cluster outside a VPC network from your local, you can give your public IP, but I only choose private IP here. I can run from control plane itself. I will access Kubernetes from control plane server itself, but if you want to access from your local, you can give here the public IP. But once a script, those two changes you have to do, and also make sure Kubernetes version 1.35, what are the components you installed in here, the same version it should be appear here also. But here please comment one. If you want to use Docker as our container runtime, at that time it will help you, but containerd is enough. Now let's see our script is completed. Yeah, our script is completed. Let's go back to the normalizer. Now create one file here, kubeadm.config. You can name anything here. I just name. Now before that we have to edit here one thing. The private IP I said already. We have to use a private IP. How to get a private IP? This is the command. You can run this from control plane node. This is 168, so let's change here only 168. Here we have to update 168. Two places we have to change, here and here. Now copy this file .config, just paste. Now we have to initialize the Kubeadm, initialize the control plane using this command. What is the command? Sudo kubeadm init ---- config. You have to pass kubeadm config file. Let's wait for 30 seconds. It will complete within 30 seconds. After that, the step 6 is step 5. Once the initialization complete, it will give some commands for the kube config file. You have to run these commands. Let's copy. Meantime, we'll download all certificates. It will create all components, everything. If you want, go through these logs. Now see, this is completed. Okay, this is the commands you have to run. These 3 commands I already given you here. You just copy from this doc and run here. This is done. Now if you observe kubectl get nodes, it should work. Yeah, control plane. Now I have to add you some shortcuts for kubectl. In exam, these shortcuts already added. Okay, you can't run kubectl completely. You can simply run k. It will help you in time in exam. So for those shortcuts, you have to open bash rc. In exam environment, these shortcuts are already added. You don't need to add anything. You have to add alias k is equal to kubectl. And also one more thing you have to add here is shortcut. This is the let me tell you why I am adding this. Completion dash. What it does is, you don't need to type complete resource name here. Okay, start -k. You can use tab button once you add these two. Okay, for example, you have to set a deployment object in specific namespace. Okay, for example, assume the namespace itself is a long strings. Okay, so at the time you don't need to copy. Okay, you just type initial letters and enter tab, it will auto complete. In the exam environment this is already done. Okay, you can use the tab button, so it will reduce our time. Now after changing this source, you have to source mashups. Once it is, now I am using Kubernetes nodes. For example, how many namespaces I have to check cube. Just now this is done. This is what I gave in document. Now join worker node. Now you have to join worker node. Okay, for that you have to run Kubeadm token create --- print join command. Also it will give. Kubeadm token create --- print join command. Here this command I gave here in document. Okay, once it is generated, copy this, go to your worker node. You have to use sudo here, paste this the one. My worker node is also joined. Please check from control plane, detail get nodes. My both control plane and worker nodes are not ready because we didn't install CNI plugin. You have to install CNI plugin, then only it becomes ready. So for that last step you have to do install Calico. Calico I am using because it helps, it also implement the network policies. So you just need to first download the YAML file here and then run the Calico. Once you run this, observe here, and within 13 seconds these two become ready. Just add watch here. So node 1 is already ready status. Let's wait for control plane also change status to ready. Both control plane and everything is running fine. All parts now. Port DNS all going to create. Okay, let's wait for one more minute. Now my cluster is up and running with the healthy. Okay, that's how you have to bring up a cluster using Kubeadm with the help of the scripts I provide you. Okay, once you practice the scenarios, these scenarios, you also bring down the infra because to avoid the AWS charges. What you have to do, there is one more script here. You have to run down infra down.sh. It will remove entire VPC, the instances what you created here, everything. That's all about the video. I will come up with the next CKS scenario question.